Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're going to be taking a look at the story of Ina, a young Ghanaian woman working at a cafe, and she has this unexpected encounter with Barron Trump,
Okay.
which ends up going viral. It's a pretty simple story on the surface, but as we start to kind of unpack it, I think you'll see it brings up these kind of interesting questions about the dynamics of kindness,
Right.
the power of feeling seen, and the unpredictable nature of going viral these days. And our source material is really interesting for this deep dive
Oh, yeah.
because it's actually just one written account of the event.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be like a super focused,
So we're going really deep.
really deep. I like it.
Deep dive.
It's interesting how this story kind of acts as a microcosm for these larger social trends. We can kind of explore those trends a bit as we go along.
Yeah.
But I guess for now, let's start by just like setting the scene.
Yeah. So the story takes place in this cafe.
Yeah.
Kind of a quiet cafe, and Ina's working this long shift.
And things aren't exactly looking up for her. Rent is due, her phone's about to be cut off.
Oh, geez.
Tips are dismal. You know, it kind of paints this picture of everyday struggle.
Yeah.
The kind of struggle that I think a lot of people listening can probably relate to.
Yeah, and it really emphasizes this feeling of invisibility.
Yeah.
Like, just being another face in the crowd.
Right.
Especially when you're working one of these service jobs.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel like all your work and all your efforts just go unnoticed.
Yeah. And then to make things even more interesting, in walks Barron Trump with his security detail.
Whoa.
Not exactly your average cafe customer.
No, not really.
Yeah.
That contrast is really key, though. You
Yeah.
know, it's that juxtaposition of the mundane, like you said, a cafe, a tired worker,
Right.
and then suddenly you've got this unexpected presence of someone who's so recognizable.
Right.
It immediately just sparks our curiosity and sets the stage for something
Yeah.
out of the ordinary.
Totally. And Ayana's surprised, of course. Maybe a little nervous.
Oh, I bet.
But she handles it like a total pro. Takes his order,
Okay.
a cappuccino and a croissant, serves him, and she notices something kind of interesting. He's not glued to his phone like most people.
Oh, really?
He's just kind of sitting there looking out the window, lost in thought.
Huh. This outward simplicity, however, hit a depth of generosity that Ina was about to discover.
And so after Barron leaves, she goes to clear his table, probably hoping for a decent tip,
Oh, yeah, of course.
to try and salvage a pretty rough day.
Yeah.
But what she finds ends up being way more than just a couple extra dollars.
Oh, wow. This is where the story shifts from just a simple encounter to something much more profound.
Yes.
It's that
Yes.
moment when, like, the mundane becomes meaningful.
So the tip itself is incredibly generous. It's 4 digits.
Wow, that's amazing.
But it's the note that really has the impact.
Oh, okay. What did it say?
It reads, "Your kindness and hard work don't go unnoticed. My family has been where you are. Stay strong. Brighter days are coming."
Wow.
Right.
It's so interesting to consider why this resonated so deeply, not just with Ina, but with so many people who later encountered the story online.
Yeah.
Was it just that acknowledgement of her struggles? Was it a reminder that even those people who seem to have it all can understand hardship?
Yeah.
Maybe it tapped into this longing for genuine connection
Yeah.
in a world that's increasingly disconnected.
Yeah. That's a really good question. It really makes you think. And, for Ina, in that moment, the impact was immediate
I bet.
and intensely personal.
I can only imagine.
Like, imagine being in her shoes,
Yeah,
feeling invisible,
totally.
feeling overwhelmed by your circumstances. And then someone you'd never expect sees you, acknowledges your struggles,
Right.
and offers these words of hope.
Wow.
It's easy to see why she was just overcome with emotion.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's the power of feeling truly seen, having your humanity recognized, especially when you're feeling vulnerable. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, for sure.
Like feeling deeply seen by someone unexpected.
It's powerful.
It is powerful.
Yeah. It speaks to this fundamental human need for connection, for validation.
Right.
And it also raises a question like, does this kind of genuine connection happen more often than we realize, but it's just not amplified
Right.
in the same way?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But Ina's story didn't stay private for very long.
Oh, no.
A coworker saw the note, snapped a picture,
Oh, wow.
and suddenly it's everywhere.
That's how it happens these days.
I know, it's crazy.
That's the world we live in.
This is where we get into the realm of digital virality,
Yes.
which is a force that can be both incredibly powerful and utterly unpredictable.
So true.
One photo can be shared millions of times, reaching a global audience in a matter of hours.
It's crazy.
So this story explodes across social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's even picked up by a bunch of news outlets.
Wow.
People are praising Barron, they're expressing concern for Ina, and then, of course, you have like the healthy dose of debate and skepticism mixed in there.
Of course you always do.
Always, right?
This is where things get a little complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we start to see both the positive and the potentially problematic aspects of viral fame.
Yeah.
The story brought Ina a lot of much-needed support,
Mm-hmm.
but it also thrust her into the spotlight without her consent.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been incredibly overwhelming for her.
Oh, totally.
Like, suddenly your private struggles are being discussed by millions of people, many with strong opinions and judgments.
Yeah, it raises all sorts of questions about the ethics of online sharing, about the impact of going viral on individual lives.
Yeah.
Questions I think we should probably delve into a little bit later.
You should.
But I guess for now, let's just focus on Ina's response to this sudden, unexpected fame.
Okay, so she could have retreated easily overwhelmed by all the attention.
Yeah.
But instead, she makes a choice.
Oh, wow.
A choice that further amplifies this ripple effect of that one act of kindness.
It's amazing how that happens.
I know. It's
Yeah.
really powerful.
That choice, I think, is crucial to understanding the story's lasting impact. It's a testament to Ina's resilience,
Mm-hmm.
her ability to take this potentially overwhelming situation
Mm-hmm.
and turn it into an opportunity for something positive.
So she decides to actually embrace the spotlight and use her newfound platform to try and help others.
That's great.
And by doing so, she goes from, feeling invisible to being seen on this global scale.
Quite a journey.
It is quite a journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
But her story is far from over. We'll be right back to explore the impact of Ina's decision and kind of look at the wider implications of this seemingly simple encounter.
Sounds good.
We're back, and I'm really struck by how Ina's story, while deeply personal, also connects to this bigger conversation about the digital age.
Yeah, definitely. I think it makes you wonder, does going viral always actually help someone in Ina's position?
Right.
Or are there these hidden downsides that we're not really considering?
That's such a crucial question, and it's one that I feel like is often overlooked in the rush to celebrate,
Yeah.
viral feel-good stories.
Right. And while Ina's experience ultimately led to some really positive outcomes, I think it is super important to at least acknowledge those potential pitfalls.
Right. Yeah.
The internet can be such a fickle and unforgiving place.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And sudden fame, even when it's rooted in something positive, can be incredibly disorienting.
Right.
And it can also expose people to a level of scrutiny that they may not be prepared for.
Yeah, and for Ina, that scrutiny came in the form of all these online debates about her story.
Oh, really?
Like, some people were questioning her motives, others were just dissecting her every word and action.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder that the internet, for all its potential for connection, can also dehumanize people,
Yeah.
reducing them to characters in a narrative that's often shaped by forces beyond their control.
Absolutely. And it brings up this whole complex issue of privacy in the digital age.
Yeah.
Ina's story, initially, it was just this private exchange between her and Barron. But then it became public without her consent. So it really raises these ethical questions about the responsibility of the people who share these kinds of stories online.
Right.
Whether it's a coworker snapping a photo or a news outlet broadcasting the details to a global audience.
It's a lot to grapple with. On the one hand, you have this potential for good.
Yeah.
Raising awareness, inspiring kindness, mobilizing support.
Right.
But on the other hand, you have the potential for real harm.
Yeah.
Invasion of privacy, online harassment, even the commodification of someone's personal struggle.
Yeah, it's this delicate balance.
It really is. And it's a balance that I think as consumers of digital content, we need to be much more mindful of.
Definitely.
We click, share, comment often without really fully considering the impact our actions might have on the individuals who are actually involved.
It's a call for more empathy and responsibility in how we interact online.
Something that Ina herself demonstrated when she made that very conscious decision to use her unexpected platform to try to advocate for others. She could have so easily retreated from the spotlight, overwhelmed by all that attention, but instead, she chooses to lean in.
That choice speaks volumes about her resilience and her desire to make a positive impact. It also highlights, I think, a key aspect of the story that often gets overshadowed by the whole viral fame thing.
Yeah, what's that?
The power of individual agency.
Yeah.
Like, even when faced with these forces that are completely outside of her control,
Right.
she still retained the ability to shape her own narrative and use her experience to empower others.
It's incredibly inspiring.
It is.
And it reminds us that even when we feel like we're being swept up in these currents of circumstance, we still have choices to make.
Right.
And those choices can ripple outwards and create some really positive change.
And it's interesting, too, to kind of consider the impact that this whole story had, not just on Ina, but on Barron as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, his act of kindness, which was probably intended to be this private gesture, gets amplified on this global scale.
Right.
We obviously can't know his inner thoughts.
Right.
But it is fascinating to speculate on how this entire experience might have shaped his own perspective on the world.
It makes you think about all the quiet acts of kindness that happen every day, you know?
Yeah.
Unnoticed by the world.
Right.
Are those gestures any less meaningful just because they don't go viral?
Right.
And does the amplification of kindness, like in Ina's story, does that truly inspire lasting change? Or does it just become another fleeting moment in this endless scroll of online content?
It's a good question, and I don't think there's like an easy answer.
Right.
But maybe that's the point. This story, while it is heartwarming on the surface, it really challenges us to go a little bit deeper and consider the complexities and the nuances of kindness, of digital culture, and the way that all of our lives are interconnected in this, you know, hyper-connected world.
It is a great reminder that even the simplest stories can hold these profound insights. If we're willing to look beyond the surface, but we're not done exploring yet, when we come back, we're going to shift gears from analysis to application.
Okay.
And we're going to look at some practical takeaways from Ina's story.
Awesome.
The tangible ways that we can all integrate a little more kindness, a little more awareness, and maybe even a little more courage into our own daily lives. We've spent this deep dive unpacking Ina's story, really kind of looking at those layers of meaning beneath the viral headlines.
Right.
But for this last part, I'd love to make it a little bit more personal. Like what really stuck with you throughout this whole conversation?
You know, I think what really stays with me is how easy it is for us to just underestimate the impact of small gestures. Ina's story is a really good reminder that kindness doesn't have to be like this grand or public thing to be transformative. It's often those quiet everyday acts that really resonate the most deeply.
It's so true. And that's something that I think we as listeners can apply directly to our own lives. Absolutely.
Regardless of our circumstances, we don't need to wait for some chance encounter with someone famous to make a difference.
Exactly. And if we really break down what made Barron's act so impactful, it really boils down to a few key elements. First, he really saw Ina. You know, like he acknowledged her as an individual. Not just someone who was fulfilling a service role.
That makes me think about all the times that I've like rushed through interactions. You know, barely making eye contact with the barista or the cashier. It's just so easy to get caught up in your own head and forget that, you know, everyone we encounter has their own story, their own struggles.
It's really about kind of shifting our mindset from transactional to relational. You know, instead of seeing people as just fulfilling a need for us, we can take a moment to actually recognize their humanity, to acknowledge their efforts, even if it's with just like a simple smile or a genuine thank you.
And beyond just that simple acknowledgement, there's also the power of actually expressing gratitude.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which Barron did in his note.
Right.
It wasn't just about the money. It was about recognizing Ina's hard work and letting her know that it was truly appreciated.
And gratitude has this amazing ripple effect.
Yeah.
You know, when we express it genuinely, it not only brightens the recipient's day, it also kind of shifts our own perspective a little bit, reminding us of all the good that exists in the world, even when we're surrounded by challenges.
It's like that saying, gratitude turns what we have into enough.
Yeah. I love that.
And I'm really trying to incorporate that more into my own life.
Good.
Taking time each day to actually appreciate those little things. You know, the people who make my life easier, even in small ways.
And then finally, there's also the power of encouragement.
Yeah.
Ina was clearly feeling discouraged, overwhelmed by her circumstances. And so Barron's words, brighter days are coming, you know, it offered her this glimmer of hope.
This reminder that things can get better, and they do get better.
It makes me think about all the times that I've received words of encouragement from unexpected sources and how much they meant to me,
Yeah,
how they really helped me through some tough times.
that's true.
And it really costs us nothing to offer that kind of support to others,
Yeah.
yet it can have such a profound impact.
Right. Like a simple text to a friend who's having a rough time,
Yeah.
a compliment to a colleague who's feeling undervalued,
Mm-hmm.
just a listening ear to someone who needs to vent.
Yeah.
These are all just small acts of kindness
Right.
that can make a huge difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I really hope that you're walking away not just with the memory of Ina's story,
Yeah.
but with the renewed sense of the power that we each hold to actually make the world a little bit brighter, a little bit kinder, one interaction at a time.
It's a reminder that kindness isn't just this passive trait. It's this active choice that we make in each moment.
Right.
And as Ina's story so beautifully illustrates,
Yeah.
those choices, no matter how small they are, they have the potential to ripple outwards
Yeah.
and create this chain reaction of positivity that extends far beyond our immediate sphere.
So well said. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, this was great.
And remember, the next time you're feeling lost in the crowd, or you encounter someone who seems invisible, take a moment to really see them.
Yeah.
You never know the impact that you might have.